Oh, so sorry the last video got cut short. I'll do that question. So I was going through this question. We'll do this question in the video, and I'll just do one more then. So yeah, time for two questions in this video. So, area of the walkway. Again, feel free to pause, read the question. So we've got pool, there's a pool, and we've got the walkway around the side. Calculate the area of the walkway. Okay. So to me, that's saying it's the full rectangle, take away the area of the pool, do that. Or you could break up the walkway into smaller sections. So I think I might do this and this. I've kind of got three rectangles. So if that's 16 and that's 1.5, each of these rectangles are then going to be 17.5. So 17.5 by 1.5 will give me these two. I'm just going to see, I'll put that in. So the green section. The two greens are just the same, aren't they? So I'd be saying, I've got again in English is quite nice. I might call it the top, the middle, and the bottom. Just something to kind of so I don't confuse myself. As you can see, it does happen. Times 1.5. That's the top section, and the bottom section is just the same. So I could have done that times by 2, but I'm just going to write it out like this, just so I'm not double counting or forgetting to count anything. And the middle section here, well, they've told me that's 8 and that's 1.5. So plus 8 times 1.5. It's kind of as simple as that. So the only thing that's hard here is multiplying decimals, which no one likes to do. And it's actually not as bad as you think. So two ways you could think about this, and I'll write them out. 17.5 times 1.5. So if you times 17 by 5 by 1, you're just going to get 17.5. So that's the same as 17.5 times by 1, which is 17.5. And 17.5, you have to also then times it by 0.5, which is just a half of 17.5. I could say, right, half of 17.5, divide that by 2. 2 into 1 doesn't go. 2 eighths are 16, carry the 1. 2 into 5, and there, that's going to be 7. Carry the 1, and 4, 5, 8.7. So you could do it that way. So you understand like your decimals and your relation to fractions. 0.5 is 50%, that's a half. I could absolutely do that. Or I could just multiply the decimals. So when we multiply decimals, we ignore the decimal. So I'm going to do 175 times by 15, so I just ignore the decimal. Which some people would like to do a chimney sum. Some people would say, okay, that's 175 times by 15. So don't forget to do your two lines, put your 0 in. That's 5 5s are 25. So 25. 5 7s are 35 plus the 2 for 37. 7 down here carried 3. And 5 1s are 5 plus the 8. And then you're doing 1 5, 1 7, 1. I don't think 5. And I'll do a different colour for this just so I don't get my carrying confused. So that's 5. 7 and 5 is 12. 16, 2. So you could do that and then you say, okay, well, how many numbers were after the decimal in the question? Well, 2 numbers after the decimal in the question. So I'm going to have 2 numbers after the decimal in the answer. So it's not as bad as you think when you want to do that. And just to double check it's right, if I add the two together, I'll just add. So it's going to give me, in fact, you can even see, look, 17.50, 17.50 and 875, that's me. So 5, that's going to give me a 12, 6, carry the 1, and 2. Okay. So there's two different ways you could do it. It's good to know that one. This to me is the main method you want to know, is to multiply decimals, you ignore the decimals, and then you add them in at the end. So that's going to come out as 26.25. That'll be 26.25. And let's do this. This is one where this comes into its own. 8 times 1.5. 8 plus half of 8, 12. Yeah, and then we just do a chimney sum to add all up. So 26.25. And remember doing your chimney sums, have everything in a row, place value. Okay, there you go. So 5 and 5 is 10. 2, 2, 1 is 5. 12, 13, 14. 3, 4, 5, and 6 for 64.5 meters squared. So that question, to me, less of an area question, really, and more of a numeracy, can you multiply your decimal, does come up in this. Okay. I think actually, to be fair, that question is in paper 2, but it does come up in paper 1 where they make you multiply decimals. So, two rectangles added together, one in the middle, get your strategy right, substitute in, maybe, annotate the diagram, and that's just a little reminder of your relationship with decimals as well. Just take your time with those stuff. And the very last one, we are doing this last time, have a wee read at that. So really it is the classic, I've got a rectangle, I'm taking away a semicircle. So my rectangle is length, base times height. And a semicircle is pi r squared, that's a full circle divided by 2. So the base and the height we should know is 19 times pi 8, that's what I'll times in. And the radius of this, okay, well, a lot of people would say, well, there's 8 divided by 2 for 4, but it's not, is it? Because there's a 1 and a 1 here. So the diameter is actually equal to 6. So then the radius is going to be equal to 3. So pi times 3 squared divided by 2. And actually, it's told us as well to take pi as 3.14 because this is in the non-calculator. So a little bit of decimal multiplying this time as well. So 19 times 8, you would be absolutely fine to do a little chimney sum for that if you want. 8 times 9, what's that? 72, yeah? 7 up here. 2. 8 ones are 8, plus the 7, 15. You do that. I quite like breaking up into 10 and 9 and 8. This is how I like to multiply it. That's 80 and 72 added together for 152. That's the way I like to lay it out. And I like that because it works very well for the double digits. I don't quite like doing these kind of double chimneys. I prefer that kind of method where you break the 9 up into 10 and 9. That's just me just showing you ways. So as you get your full rectangle, we've now got this full rectangle here, and I want to take away this semicircle in the middle. So I'm trying to take away this area here, stamp it. So 3 squared is 9 divided by 2. That's going to be 3.14. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. We're back to multiplying our decimal. So let's do my way, okay? That's 310 and 4 if you ignore decimals. If you ignore decimals, it's 340 times 45, yeah? So 310 and 4 and 40 and 5. Just times these numbers together. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 zeros. All you're doing is multiplying the first two numbers and then counting how many zeros there are. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 zeros. 3 times 5 is 15, 0. 5 times 1 is 5, 0. And then we'll just add all that up. So we'll do a big chimney sum. And again, it's just all place value. Don't make a mistake with place value. That is a 0. So that's going to be 12,560. 12,560. That's my top row. Bottom row is going to be 1,570. 1,000. Add all them. 7 and 6. 10. That'll be 13. 11. 4 and 1. And then this is the tough bit. Well, I say it's tough, but this is the only bit you need to really know. There's 3 numbers after the decimal in the question, which we ignored. So now I need to put the decimal in. So there's 3 numbers after the decimal in the question. 1, 2, and 3. Do a quick sense check as well. That's roughly 3 times 5, isn't it? It should be about 50. So that's looking quite good to me. So I'm saying it's 152 take away, and that number's come out as 14.13. We're going to do this number, take away this number, and they want 3 significant figures. Okay. So I'm going to do 152.00, take away 40.3. Notice I put the zeros in to give me the place value. Can't do the first two, I'm going to have to borrow. 1, 1, 7, 8, Borrow again.